Hey Liverpool fans, have you seen the latest release? At AnfieldIndex, we've teamed up with LiverpoolFC to announce that the brand new 24-25 LFC Nike home kit and anthem jacket are out now, and they're hotter than ever. The brand new kit pays homage to the legendary Rome 1984 side, featuring sleek pinstripe detailing that brings a touch of history to our modern game. Whether you're cheering from the Kop or watching from home, you'll feel the spirit of the Reds coursing through every stitch. The best part? You can grab yours today. The new kit and training range are available in official stores, online, and through the LFC store app. Don't wait, order now and be ready to show your Liverpool pride in style. Get your hands on the new 24-25 LFC home kit and anthem jacket today. Let's make this season unforgettable. You'll never walk alone.
I'm Trent Alexander-Arnold.
I'm Curtis Jones.
I am Cody Gakpo.
Putting on the Liverpool top for the first time, it was a dream come true and I'll never forget that moment.
The new LFC 24-25 season Nike home kit is out now.
Buy it today, along with our new goalkeeper kit and training range at your official LFC stores. Online at liverpoolfc.com/store and on the official LFC store app.
You will never walk alone.
Another day is here, and you're ready for it. What to wear? Check. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Check. Planning for what's next and how to save for it? That's where Bank of America can help. For your financial to-dos, Bank of America has experts ready to help get you closer to your goals. Get started at one of our local financial centers or 24/7 in our mobile banking app. Find a location near you at bankofamerica.com/talktous. What would you like the power to do? Mobile banking requires downloading the app and is only available for select devices. Message and data rates may apply. Bank of America N.A., member FDIC.
Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our Quick Publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms, and we have our own apps for Apple and Android. Just head on over to AnfieldIndexPro.com and get started today.
Hey guys, welcome back to Anfield Index Pro special. We've got another bumper episode for you, reviewing the season. Some of the best voices on Anfield Index are sharing their thoughts and opinion. And I've got two more excellent guests up for you. So you know what? They don't need an introduction, but I'm going to give them one, because if I don't, Eddie will rip my hair out. And I probably will end up looking like Slot. But that's another story for another day. Let's get into our guest. First up, it is the man that works his backside off on Anfield Index. You've heard him many a times. He's awesome. It's Mr. Dave Davis. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I must admit, it's been a tiring day and it's been a tiring year carrying the likes of people like Guy Drinkle, but I'm looking forward to this. I'm not going to lie.
Cannot do a podcast without sly tackling my best mate in the editing sphere of Guy Drinkle. And joining Dave Davis, you hear him on Daisy Podcast. It's nice when we get him on podcasts. It is, again, somebody that needs no introduction. The awesome Harinder Singh, also known as Baji. Welcome to the show.
Hello. I've got nothing bad to say about Guy Drinkle.
I know I can't say anything bad about him. He's just too happy all the time. Right, guys, you know what? Well, clearly, if he was a player and Dave Davis was Slot, he'd be first on the transfer list, right? We won't go there. But let's get into this. And guys, how are you? I hope you're both well. The season's come to an end. It's been an eventful season. A lot has happened. We've had a lot to digest, a lot to take in, and lots of new beginnings. So I'm going to come to Dave first. Your initial reaction to everything that's happened with Klopp going and the new manager being announced. Give me your thoughts really quick.
It's been emotional, hasn't it, Nina? But maybe a little bit in the almost wrong order, so to speak. All the right notes, but not in the right order, as it were. I mean, there's been some massive peaks this season. You've got to say that. There's been some enjoyable moments. There's been last-minute winners. There's been a trophy on board. There's been, real highs. There's also, to be honest, been desperate lows at times as well in terms of results and performance.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that in the mix. Then obviously you throw into the whole pot that Jurgen Klopp is departed, and we got that quite early-ish on in the season. So we had to factor that in. So it's almost been like a roller coaster of emotions. And with all that, maybe it's just me, but I'm kind of ready for a bit of a reset from the stuff on the field, just a little break from that and the emotions of the match. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to a little break match-wise for now.
I think that's fair, and somebody that does travel to the games pretty often as well. Harinder, I want to get your thoughts on just, the roller coaster ride that we've had this season. And obviously, Klopp going on Sunday, on Monday, Liverpool announcing the worst kept secret in football slot. How are you feeling? Do you need a break as well?
Yeah, definitely need a break. It's not been as intense as previous seasons. Yes. I think that's because of the exits, right? So it was intense until April-ish, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. And like when you go for the cancellation of your bookings and all that kind of stuff, and you start saying, right, okay, the flight's right, get the refunded, do this, do all of that starts happening. And as you're rewinding your life that you thought you were going to lead in May, the reality kind of hits you. So, you like beginning of the season, you always think you're going to do something. And then when we got to Jan, Feb time, you think, quad, yeah, okay, I'm in for this. Why shouldn't we think that we can win everything? Like, why beat ourselves down in regards to what we hope for, what we are optimistic about, all that kind of stuff? Like you got to think that it can happen. And it didn't. And then you kind of start reassessing your position of things. You're like, okay, cool. Right, I was expecting this. The expectation hasn't happened. And you're like, right, so what am I thinking now? Cool. Okay, can we win the league? Yeah, probably can. Will we? Don't know. Let's go. And then we don't. We did it to ourselves. Can't say it with anybody else. You can't say the City. You can't say it with this. You can't say it with that. There's none of that involved here. It was done to ourselves. We did our own damage. And I'm all right with that. I kind of came to terms with it in regards to, okay, like we committed Harry Curry a little bit in regards to things. But you know what? It's not been a bad season.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's
now,
not.
on the whole Klopp and Slot thing, worst kept secret, you've said it. Definitely felt like the worst kept secret. I think that prevented a lot more tears in the stadium, because you saw how he was and how Klopp emanated himself and how much love he gave to the fans and how much love he's still giving to the fans now. I think, Liverpool Football Club are definitely milking this one right on the socials. And whoever's running the Kloppo account on Instagram, learn how to use Instagram. Like, you don't need to post 4 or 5 times a day. Like, just don't. Like, you got it down to 1 a day now. Stick to that. That's kind of okay. Maybe twice a day. But multiple times, and especially during the space of 3-4 hours, too much, man. So if he hadn't been that way, I think people would be much more upset, much more sad. But the fact that he was jovial, he told it, he made that transition easier in respect to accepting that he was going. Have someone new coming along and you're going to back them, and it's blind faith time. You're like, right, okay, you know what? You're saying go 100% in, we're 110% in. Let's do this. That's where I'm at.
Nope, I like both of your approach. It's a very healthy approach to everything. Harinder, I'm going to stick with you. Obviously, like you said, we had some good moments. We kind of let ourselves down in certain moments. We're going to kind of focus on the first aspect of the question, and that is your favorite match of the season.
Yeah. The thing is, chairs count. I want to say Chelsea.
Yeah.
But the problem is I can't choose between the two because both are equally important for me. But more so me. I don't give a shit about anybody else than picking one team and all this kind of stuff. I'm breaking the fucking rules. Deal with it, folks. Right. Chelsea. Both of them. Reasons why. They're my neighbours. I can't stand them. They can't stand me, I'm sure. You all know the history, right? That's it. But like, bollocks to that. But yeah, both of them. Because I wasn't supposed to be at that match because it was a midweeker. It was a Wednesday. And I had serious home duties going on. And Klopp's news had broken on Friday. Harinder looks at me, he's like going, do you want to go? do you need to be with your fan? They're not my fans, Rupinder, first and foremost, my wife. They are Liverpool fans. Yes, I do want to be there. And yeah, it will be some form of therapy, I suppose, in respect of being at the ground and seeing them again, like after the news had broken. So we didn't know how people were going to react, and we didn't know how the team was going to react to that news. But you could tell straight away, playing that match, fucking took Chelsea to the cleaners. We humiliated them, man. We grabbed Chelsea by the throat, whatever their lion, dragony looking thing is, and properly just smashed the shit out of it. They were absolutely atrocious. And Bradley's goals just epitomised that, and his energy as well on the wing was just phenomenal to see, and I loved that night at Anfield. Absolutely loved it. I mean, I didn't enjoy the journey back because I'm getting back very, very early in the morning.
Yeah.
Is an extremely painful one for me, and then going to work as well. It's like, it's great. But yeah, both. But then when it came to League Cup final, I can't say that wasn't just as important for me as well, because I took the day off for her first final, right? So I took my daughter to her first final, and it was amazing for her. She was taking, what can you do with kids these days? Taking lots of photos, lots of videos, and telling her mates where she was sat, and, and she's, next day she could see the other guys, but around her, they were all excited. She saw Guy. I know Guy was next to people under the age of 18 and was okay, because Guy's a nice guy, not as bad as Dave makes out. Seeing some of the other AI crew as well, in regards to Eddie, in regards to Griggs, for Ben, all that stuff. Dave chose to sit somewhere else though, didn't he? Didn't you, Dave?
Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't really a fan of the selected crowd that was around. So I isolated myself, my own mates.
Thank you. I heard that you stank that day as well, so that's why people didn't want to sit next to you. So yeah.
Well, whilst we've got Dave on, go on then, Dave. Harinder, I'm like you. I picked the Chelsea games as well. It was really hard for me to pick between. Your favourite match, Dave?
Hello there. Have you ever found yourself getting ready to watch the Liverpool match? You've got your mates round, you've got your drinks, you've got your snacks, you're all set to go. It's going to be a good day. And then you find out, the game's not actually being broadcast in your region. There's the heartbreak, there's rage, there's despair, there's fury. You're upset. You're looking for a solution. Well, we've teamed up with NordVPN to bring you a game-changing solution. That's right. With NordVPN, you can switch your virtual location to a country where the game's on live. It's like having a global ticket to sports, TV shows, and movies from all around the world. And here's the best part. If you go to nordvpn.com/AnfieldIndex, you'll score the best discount on your NordVPN plan. Plus, our link gives you 4 extra months free on the 2-year plan. And that's what we call a winning streak. And if you're sitting there and you're thinking, what if it's not for me? What if I don't like it? What if I'm not getting the use of it? Don't worry about it. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so it's totally risk-free. I've been using NordVPN to catch all the Liverpool matches and TV shows that I'd normally miss out on. It's totally transformed both my weekends and my TV watching. And not only that, not only does it give me access to stuff from all around the world with the click of a button, it keeps all my data safe. It means that the miscreants, the ne'er-do-wells, what my grandmother would have called scallywags, who lurk on the internet to try and steal your information, can't get to your information. NordVPN keeps it safe for you. So don't let geo-restrictions bench you this season. Visit nordvpn.com/AnfieldIndex and make sure that you're in the game, no matter when or where it's being played. Remember, it's not just sports, it's your all-access pass to binge-worthy TV shows and blockbuster movies from all around the globe. NordVPN literally unlocks the world for you and keeps you safe from the world. So don't miss out. Head over to nordvpn.com/AnfieldIndex and let the fun and games begin.
I'm Trent Alexander-Arnold.
I'm Curtis Jones.
I am Cody Gakpo.
Putting on the Liverpool top for the first time, it was a dream come true, and I'll never forget that moment.
The new LFC 24-25 season Nike home kit is out now.
Buy it today, along with our new goalkeeper kit and training range at your official LFC stores. Online at liverpoolfc.com/store and on the official LFC store app.
You will never walk alone.
need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
This episode is supported by FX's Clipped, the scandalous story of the 2014 Clippers owner's racist remarks captured on tape and heard around the world. The series charts the tape's impact on a dysfunctional basketball organization striving to win against their reputation as the most cursed team in the league. Starring Lawrence Fishburne, Jackie Weaver, Cleopatra Coleman, and Ed O'Neill. FX's Clipped, streaming June 4th, only on Hulu.
I actually I half agree with you. I kind of like, it feels like the Oscars, isn't it? When you go through the nominations, you're thinking of before you do the award out loud. So for me, the Chelsea Carabao probably just tips it, but probably not from what you think. I mean, I love all the finals we've had recently, especially under Klopp. I've been to them all, even that semi-final against City, which was the only exception, because we always play Chelsea at Wembley, don't we? And usually it's 0-0 or a draw, and then it goes to extra time and penalties. But this one, Nina, it just felt different because we knew the situation we were in. We were injury ravaged, that we were hanging on a little bit at times. And the kids came on and they didn't let us down for 1 minute. And then there's just that special moment in extra time when Tsimikas whips it across and Virgil heads it in. And it just felt like, for all the things that had happened previously, that was like the landmark moment with Virgil van Dijk as the skipper, if that makes sense. There was just so many memories, like there with my pals, just what a day in London, as it always is at Wembley. They're just special days. They're just special occasions. So that just tips it from me. But probably surprise you a bit, Newcastle away.
Oh, yeah.
Newcastle away. Because we're 1-0 down at half-time. We're a player down because Virgil gets sent off, doesn't he, for Isaac? I'm at that one. I'm in the away end. And it was, it was loud, it was proud and everything like that. You had to be honest, though. We were still cheering, but there was almost there was a few chatting and you're thinking at half-time, like, I tell you what, a point wouldn't be a bad result here, would it, to be honest, type of thing. They're on the up, think of what they did last season, 10 men, goal down, etc., etc. And then Darwin Núñez just has other ideas, doesn't he? Yeah. And Darwin Núñez, who has been, the season before had been much maligned, probably as he is now a little bit, so to speak. Just that moment when he equalises, limbs, and insane limbs, I'm not going to lie. The moment when he gets the winner, just absolutely bouncing beyond belief in that away end. It was just a special moment, I'd say. Both special moments, really, the equaliser and that. So I almost feel bad not giving it to that performance and that victory away at Newcastle. But there's just something a bit special about Wembley Day. So, just that Chelsea one for me just tips it.
Some really excellent shouts there, and I almost forgot that Newcastle game. So we did give it a mention on the pod, but I didn't throw it into my favourite one. So good on you there, Dave. I'm going to stick with you. So we've done the highs. I'm going to bring you in a come down now. Your worst. And this is where I really struggle because there's a lot that really put me on a Debbie Downer this season, certainly towards the end of the season. So which one are you going with?
My worst matches, there was a few.
Yeah.
Probably, and it might be different to a few others. I know the league had gone by then, and I'd fully accepted it, as I think most people had. But the derby at Goodison Park, I think that has got to be the lowest ebb for me of the season for a number of reasons. There was almost that scene at the end, Nina, wasn't there, where Klopp was just sort of sat on the edge of the wall on the away dugout at Everton. You kind of just looked like not just a beaten manager, but a beaten man, like he'd really run out of energy, as he'd said in his speech. He was desperate that way. And to be fair, and I'll back these players to a lot, and you always want to defend your players and you stick up for your team, whatever it is. I have to be honest and thought that was the we've played badly at times, so, I'm not saying that. But that was the only performance I looked at, and I thought, I have to be honest on this. I don't like saying it, but it's about honesty. I thought if you were pathetic on that evening, the one thing you can't do is go to Goodison Park and get outfought so spectacularly. You knew what the game was going to be. You knew what it was. And I think it was just telling that probably that the highest mark you'd give to someone was like a 4 or a 5 out of 10, realistically, wasn't it? And you think of all the players that got taken off on that game, like Salah, Nunes, Diaz, Konate, like a lot of major stars just did not turn up. Simple as that. And then obviously that's before the West Ham game, when people are like, oh, why is it Salah starting? Like, why is it? It's like, did you not watch the Everton game? We were an absolute disgrace in parts, and I'm going to talk about it too much more because it upsets me. But yeah, that was a real low point for me.
Yeah, really, really bad result and performance, and also who you lost to and the nature of it as well. I think perfectly summarised there as well. Just remember us being horrendous on set pieces as well, actually, that game, if my memory serves me correctly, because it's one that I want to forget. I mean, Harinder, I know you really hate Everton. Many people know this, and I think many people, Liverpool supporters, will completely get it and understand, but I hate to go there. What was your worst match of the season?
It was there's no other one really that people should pick out. Yeah. Because everything that you'd never want a Liverpool side to be was laid out bare on a pitch at Goodison Park, of all the fucking places it could have happened as well. And the other things that I normally go with, they turned around and said to me post-match that it felt like Stoke away in the way the players were playing them, their use a Brendanism, their character that day. And that's really painful, right? Because if you think about it, none of these players that were on the pitch that day were at Stoke away back in the end of the 14-15 season. And that was a team that was fucking managed by Mark Hughes, of all people. We lost our Mark Hughes team. Fuck's sake. And this one was Sean Dyche. Equally shit managers. Sorry to say. Sorry if anyone's an Everton fan or is a fan of Sean Dyche. Seriously, honestly, I don't get it. But okay, whatever floats your boat. But yeah, that was painful because we were in a position whereby we just needed to win. Yep, and we've done that. Normally, Everton away is a shit 0-0 or a win. It's not really anything else. We made it like, something fantastic for them, like some sort of escape to victory thing for the Ev. But yeah, that was a serious low point because prior to that match, a friend of mine I was speaking to, who used to go to high school with, he sat in front of the Kop on a week prior, and he was saying to me that, look, he goes, I think their legs are gone. Well, I don't know, you're just chatting shit. What do you mean their legs are gone? He goes, look, I sit in the front of the Kop in row 1/2, and there's just something about it. He said, I think their legs are gone. Because I hope you're right, I hope they find the energy from somewhere and all this kind of stuff. He goes, but I think their legs are gone. And I was like, you're chatting shit, mate. I was like, I don't think so. I think they'll be fine. It's the Ev, they're going to do this. And they didn't. And he was right. I think that hurt me quite a lot because it did look like their legs had gone. It looked like their passion and determination in that match had gone. And brain farts galore.
It almost looked like and I know this wouldn't happen, like almost like they weren't playing for the manager. And normally that happens when the manager, they want to get him sacked. It was almost like everything was just lost. Yeah,
I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head there. And you can tell that it's not exactly like Rodgers leaving, right? Where there was a lack of love for Rodgers leaving, to the point whereby when Stevie G went on his leaving do, everyone went and Rodgers wasn't invited. So you've all seen singing the Yaya Toure, Cola Toure song on the escalators. There's no Brendan there. There's no one. He's just put to one side. It's not like Roy Hodgson was leaving. This is Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
This is a man that you guys have gone through wars for. You fought pitched battles for. He's the man who's inspired you, who's given you hope, given you opportunity, beyond opportunity almost, and showing you that you can win absolutely everything like he has with this club. and these guys just stopped for one day. It's the only way you can look at it. They just stopped for a day, and you're like going, what, why? Wrong day, children, to do that. But yeah, it was painful.
Yeah, let's move on from that really quickly.
Oh, what? To more pain.
Harinder, I'm stick with you, and we're gonna hand out some awards. So your player, this is broken into two: player and young player of the year. So I'm gonna come to you first for your player of the season, because there was myself and Guy spoke about this, but certain players peaked at certain different parts of the season. Like Sabotslai, I thought started really well before the injury. Salah did really well before his injury. You know, there was moments where you thought Darwin Núñez might come into his own this season. You know, then there's the likes of obviously Captain Virgil van Dijk and McAllister. You know, like there were some players that performed in certain elements. So who was your overall consistent player of the season?
Big Virg.
Yeah.
I don't think it doesn't even really need anything else, right? It is definitely Big Virg, because the man's a machine. There's been a return of the dribble past stat, of that old chestnut. And apparently only happened twice this season. Virgil van Dijk.
Hello, I'm here to annoy you. I'm here to annoy you into listening to more of me and more of others on EPL Index. We don't just have the Anfield Index stuff. We've got EPL Index as well, which covers the entirety of the Premier League. And we have 3 podcasts and a whole bunch of really good writing on EPLindex.com. The podcasts are my own two-footed podcast, which is every day at 4 p.m, Monday through Friday, covering the whole league. We have A Tad Predictable, hosted by Tadiwa. You know Tadiwa, he does Anfield Index. He presents A Tad Predictable before every Premier League match week. And then Kevin De Vries and his crew on the EPL Roundtable, they're every week after the Premier League match week. So make sure you listen to everything we're doing on EPL Index and follow us there on Twitter at EPL Index. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Nice. And that was my player as well. Dave, I'm going to come to you. Who was your player of the season? Who really impressed you? Because Virgil van Dijk, for me, looked like Virgil van Dijk prior to that horrible injury this season.
There's almost a bit of a sadness as I'm saying it. I mean, it is Virgil, don't get me wrong. And for me, you know, he had overall a very good season. He was a player of the year nominee, wasn't he, in that regard? Team of the year nominee as well, and quite rightly. There's a real sadness in a way to this question, Nina, because if you rewind to sort of Feb time, there was quite a few candidates, wasn't there?
Yep.
McAllister was on the block because he was shiny. You think if he can keep this going, he's a contender. Mo Salah was obviously his injury, but you thought, well, he's had such a good season. If he can come back and return to what he's been this season, he could be there. And there was others that you were thinking, okay, they're probably not player of the year contender. Those were your main 3. But even players that you were looking at and thinking, if they could just have a strong end to the season, they're team of the year contenders, aren't they, as well? Like even, I know it sounds mad to say, but Darwin Núñez seems to have been on 31 goal contributions for about 800 years approximately. But the sadness to it is everyone has pretty much fallen away in different scenarios. We know what's happened to Salah. McAllister, again, used that phrase, but it looks like his legs have gone. And there has to be an honesty that Virgil has had a very good season. And it's, don't get me wrong, it's partly system and the way we play and all those types of things. But I don't think if you ask Virgil behind closed doors, he'd be like, yeah, I kept my standard up all the way right till the end of the season. And there's reasons for that. There's mitigation, as we know. So it sounds horrible to say, and it shouldn't diminish him as a player in any way, but it almost just feels like player of the year. Virgil van Dijk has almost got it by default a little bit as the others fallen away. But as Harinder said, still not dribbled past very often. And that aerial duel success, not just the best in the Premier League, the best in Europe. Let's just be absolutely crystal clear on that. So the man is still a colossus. There's no doubts about it. But for the question, there's a little bit of sadness to that, in all honesty.
Yeah, I think probably a lot of contributors will touch on that as well. The fact that, players like peaked in certain different aspects and moments of the season. Dave, I'm going to stick with you. Young player of the season, who impressed you?
It really comes down to two, doesn't it? I think people will be splitting the two and how you see it. So I'll be honest. I go Kwanzaa. Now, people will, I know, be thinking Harvey Elliott. And Harvey Elliott's got such a case, hasn't he? The way he's finished the season as well. People will argue that. And, the 15 goal contributions, more than anyone else in midfield. People will argue that. All those types of things. And I totally get it. He has really taken the next step, I would say. Here's the real rub, though, for me. Jarell Kwanzaa, last season, played approximately, I think, like 12 seconds for Bristol Rovers or something ridiculous, didn't he? Listening to the inane witterings of Joey Barton, probably talking about spoons and women and all sorts of things in the dressing room, didn't he? And giving him instructions. So to take that leap from there to all of a sudden coming in against Newcastle and thinking, oh, God, this is how... We have to be honest, a lot of people are like, this is how desperate we are now. Kwanzaa's coming on in this situation already. Is this a message from Jurgen Klopp to the board at FSG saying, listen, give me the money for a centre-half? To think where we are with him now and how well he's played, he's ended the season as the first-choice centre-half. People are going to have their opinions on Konate and him, but let's be clear, as Jurgen Klopp's been unequivocal on, he's finished the season as one of his first-choice centre-halves. And, Nina, he's just been called up for the provisional England squad, hasn't he? The 36. I mean, talk about a meteoric leap. From the start of this season, not 1 second of Premier League football to where he is now. And the other reason that just shades it as well for me, if you ask your Alexa, like, Alexa, tell me which position in football will make a mistake, it's a young centre-back or a young goalkeeper, isn't it? That's just the nature of their positions. Like, we know how centre-backs work. They tend to peak later. And why is that? Because of experience, isn't it? As you get better at reading the game and understanding you have to make your mistakes. Now, let's be clear, it's not been a perfect season for Jarell Kwanzaa. I'm not saying that. And there's been a few errors. But in light of what's expected, where he plays, how he's done overall throughout the season, for me, I just think he nudges ahead of Harvey Elliott for them reasons.
Absolutely fair on that one. And Harinder, I'm going to come to you. Who was your young player of the season?
I'm sticking local, Harvey Elliott. Born and bred right around the corner-ish, or like neighbouring village, town, whatever you want to call it in Chertsey. Harvey, from Wolves to Wolves, right? So if you think about Harvey Elliott's projection and trajectory, started at Wolverhampton Wanderers away back in September last year, and it was great. He came on because we were shit in the first half, let's face it. Everything about us just seemed bad, right?
Yeah.
So much so that when Neto crossed it for, what was it, Hwang Hee-chan, to score for them, it was just like, fuck's sake. Kind of thing, and it had to be Wolves away, right? I go, no, come on, man, I can't lose to Wolves again. Come on, please do, especially within the in-laws and situation. And after the second half, I think you take McAllister goes off, Diaz comes on, then you have Nunes and Elliott brought on before others come on. But he was amazing that match, like full of energy, always looking around. And one thing I love about watching Harvey Elliott is all the things you coach a kid. Like, take a look before you pass the ball, scan, take a look around you. He does all of that. And you go and see him, you ever see him playing live and up close and personal. I think Wolves away is a really good place to see that as well. The away area is quite close to the pitch, and the vista that you have can be quite good. I just thought he was phenomenal. And he's gone from strength to strength, right? Sometimes occasionally there has been a bit of lackluster starts from him, but he has grown into the role he's been given. He has grown significantly in regards to his contribution over this season. And he's the one for me, man. Kwanzaa, yes, you can't deny the fact that, Kwanzaa being into the first team, it wasn't expected because Matip got injured, but he's coped, more than coped even. And it's been a phenomenal display from him, but I've got to stick with Harvey Elliott for that one.
No, both fair, both excellent shouts. And obviously, like, there's also little shouts for, like, Conor Bradley as well. You know, I think some of the youngsters are, you know, it's looking really, really promising. Harinder, I'm going to depress you again.
Thank you.
Got to be done. What was your initial thoughts and reaction to the Jurgen Klopp news? Like, how did you handle it?
I think I said earlier, I think we did a Desi pod, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
That day, a few days after, I had to kind of think about this.
It was the next day. It was the following day. I remember it was a Saturday.
Well, it's a deep sadness. Like, it really was. Like, I couldn't talk about it properly for a few days. I remember I was moping from place to place, not really knowing how to work it all out, right? Because how do you rationalize something like that easily? And in our lifetime, well, I say in my lifetime, you've had quite a few cows, from what I gather. Mine, it's been a case of whereby the only manager who left of their own volition was Kenny. Yeah, because I wasn't around for the Shankly period. And when Paisley stepped down and Fagan came on and Fagan stepped down and Kenny took the helm, I was kind of too young to appreciate what was going on completely.
Yeah.
But Kenny hit me hard, like really hard, to the point whereby when he then came back into management for Blackburn Rovers, I fucking hated him. It's like when Rush returned from Juve. Like, it took me ages to warm back up to him. So I went through all this with Klopp. First, I was really upset. Like, you know, why kind of thing. I just kept on going around on why. I don't get this. Because we were in a position of strength at that point in time. And I thought, has something happened? Is this happening? And then you hear the timings and everything else. I'm thinking, oh, okay, so this has been thought about and it's been known for quite some time, right? Okay. Then some anger, like, you know, why are you doing this to us now? Could this derail us? Oh my God, kind of thing. And then growing up, I thought, you know, I'm being quite childish and petulant about this all. I need to grow up. And if I was Klopp, you know, would I have made this decision lightly? No. Did I really think about myself? Or did I think about the fans? And he probably would have thought about himself more than the fans in this one. And he deserved to, right? When you listen to him, when you hear him, you look at the energy, and so you think, okay, cool, we get this. We get it. You're going out on a high. You're going out on your own terms. And that's a rarity in this modern era of football. Managers are more likely to be sacked than they are to be retired. Or leading the game in their own game, in their own time, volition, space, you name it, whatever verbiage you want to use here. That doesn't happen anymore. You look around you, Premier League managers, Pep is probably the only other one who's going to do it, maybe.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Mount Labour struck again, looking now for their 24th or 25th manager in a certain period. That's the kind of way that Premier League football normally goes. So this was a departure from the norm. And this is from a departure from the norm, from the normal one. But yeah, I was all over the place. And then when you realize chocolate can't help you anymore, I talked to you guys because that was the way to get over it. You know, like, speak to your friends, speak to family, talk, and collectively begin to do that rationalization of change. And then started accepting it. And then by the time we came to Chelsea and beating them, I was okay. I was kind of right. Okay, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. And then the results in respect to Crystal Palace and you're like going, oh, we're not fine. We're sad again. Oh my God. And it's been an emotional roller coaster. But as I said on Sunday, if the speech hadn't been like that, I think it could have gone a completely different way. The fact that his speech was like that, I spoke to, again, somebody who's local from Spirit of Shankly. Hello, Jay. And his response was brilliant. He goes, you know what? If that was the incoming manager, you'd be doing anything he told you to.
Yeah.
Such was the vigor and power of his speech. You know, if he said, like, I need you to run through this brick wall, you're like going, okay, cool. And then after that.
Hey guys, it's Eddie Gibbs from Anfield Index here. I hope you're enjoying this podcast, and I'm sorry to call time on the show before it ends. In the current climate, it's tougher than ever before to offer podcasts for free. At Anfield Index, we produce over 75 free shows every month, which I'm confident is unparalleled in the LFC sphere. Whilst we'd love to offer everything for free, the production costs now make this impossible. That said, we don't want to follow the model of other channels and lock all of our content behind a paywall. So what we've decided to do is to continue offering every show for free, but cut that offering to 30 minutes on our longer shows. So to get all of our shows in full and enjoy the best of everything we have to offer, we really hope you'll consider supporting the channel and signing up at AnfieldIndexPro.com. For about the price of 1 cup of coffee, you'll get every podcast in full with 0 ads. You'll also get access to our LFC VIP community, where you can enjoy live podcasts, engage with our podcasters, and chat with other Reds in real time. So that website again, AnfieldIndexPro.com. Join today.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
I'm Trent Alexander-Arnold.
I'm Curtis Jones.
I am Cody Gakpo.
Putting on the Liverpool top for the first time, it was a dream come true, and I'll never forget that moment.
The new LFC 24-25 season Nike home kit is out now.
Buy it today, along with our new goalkeeper kit and training range at your official LFC stores. Online at liverpoolfc.com/store and on the official LFC store app.
You will never walk alone.